All right, thank you all for joining us today. We're going to be covering RFIs, submittals, meetings, and our closeout items, punch list, and warranty letters. And then we're going to look at job backup. So I'm going to get started sharing my screen. All right, Heather, we good?
Looks good to me.
All right, again, if y'all have any questions, we've got the Q&A at the bottom. Click on that and ask any questions at any time. And Heather will stop and remind me that we have a question to let me know, and we'll try to get that answered for you. All right, here we go. So we're starting off on the project dashboard. And I want to point out a couple of things because now we're getting into some items that are going to be showing up here. And a lot of clients want to know about notifications and how they are reminded about items or how they can view that information immediately. So everything that I talked about, RFIs, submittals, meetings, punch list items, warranty letters, those are all going to show up here. And you'll have some of these that will show up as overdue, and it'll track the days. So this is the next 7 days, beyond 7 days, and this is the total. This is a good way, just a quick view to see if you've got anything that needs to get done. So we're going to start off with RFIs. And with all these items, you can click here on the number and it'll take you to the item. And then they're also available over here on the left side. But if you do close this, hit the wrong button. We're going to go to RFIs. All right, what you'll see is the filtered list. We've got all open and closed. We have our notification. You can turn this on or off. We're going to leave it on. And then our settings box. So once you create your RFIs, you can print the RFI log. You can print the individual RFIs, and then you can narrow it down to just the open RFIs. So let's get started with an RFI. Add the subject name. We're going to say chip color today. The RFI date is going to be the day you initiate this, and then a due date. We're going to have 1 week. Put in a good explanation, a good question. Spell it right. Then we'll go to the bottom. So this is going to put you in by default, whoever's logged in creating this RFI. The contact you can choose, and this is going to be your list of people within the project. So for example, we've got subcontractors, we've got our accountant, our architect, superintendent, our owner. So you can choose from anyone. And if this is going to go out, we're going to send this out to the architect. Does this affect the cost? Yes or no, maybe. Same thing with the schedule. Yes, no, maybe. And is this the bidding RFI? We're going to say yes. You can attach items to this. So if you've got anything in your specifications folder in Plan Room, you can pull from that. If you start typing in, it'll give you a list of any items that are in there. And that's the same with drawings. If you start typing in any information, it'll give you a drop down of what's available. Erase these. Same thing with cost codes. And then your distribution. So right now we've got the person that initiated this and Krista Architect. If we wanted to add anyone else, this available contacts list is again the same thing, anyone that's involved in the project. If you want someone outside of the project, they need to be in your contacts list. You can start typing in their name. And again, it'll give you a drop down of available contacts. We've already got our architect and ourselves involved in this, so we're not going to add any more contacts, but you would just click over here to add the contacts, trash can to delete them. We can include anyone in the BCC, and we can drop any files that we have here. So if we had a drawing or an attachment, we can add that. Now, important here, notify participants. So we've already got the reminder on, but we want to check this. This way, you are notified about it previous to the due date, and you can take action on it. And this is also going to notify the architect as well. So we've got the option to save or save and submit. I'm going to go ahead and save this. If you do want to work on it, if you need to come back, if you need to go grab a file and add that, you can do your work there. You can open it back up to edit. You can view the attachments, you can delete this, and you can print what you have so far. And then I'm going to do the submit from here. So that was the difference between save and submit. You can go back up here and do this, the submit manually. So we sent this out. The architect is going to be able to view this on their site, and they will have an email with the attachment, which is the printout of this. It's going to have your question, and they'll be able to respond and give you an answer from their site. Or if they just send you an email, we're going to do that situation here. So we're going to provide their answer. You're not going to see anything in the responses because they didn't send anything through the system. So we got to go to settings, and we need to add an answer. Who's our contact? Is this going to be our final answer? So if this is just correspondence, if you're sending something back and you want to get another answer, or you have another question involved with this topic, you can send a response. But if this is the final answer, you can click this here. Again, this is going to give you the warning that no additional edits can be made after this. So we'll close. And the color is blue. Any attachments can be added here. And we've designated this as the final answer. We're going to save this, and it's going to close our RFI. To notify, this is going to just anyone who's involved with the participants of the RFI, anyone you selected, it's going to let everybody know the final answer has been received. You can send this out again, anybody from the project, and we're going to close this. If we go to open, we don't have anything there. This is a closed RFI. Again, we can come back and print this, and this is what your RFI is going to look like. So we've got our information, the answer, what was the question, and here's our answer. And this is what the form that is sent out with the attachment when you go to request an answer from the architect in this case. We select this and go to our settings. We can print the individual checked item, and let's look at the log. We've only got one item, so it's going to be small, but as you can imagine, the more RFIs you have listed here, they're all going to be listed with the open and close dates and the answer, or excuse me, the question. Any questions on RFIs? I'm going to add.
Yes, we do.
All right. What is our question?
Are we able to have additional RFI responders or additional collaborators on that RFI?
Yes, anyone involved as a participant.
On that bottom section, you can add other people who were going to be notified, but another answer, no, there's just one answer, but you can notify as many people as you need to notify.
Correct. Yes. So this is the person that can select this. If they do it in their site, they'll have that same checkbox that we saw in the answer. So they'll be able to click that as the final answer so that when they send it to you, it is resolved. But anyone who is involved that you add to these contacts can respond to this RFI. Any other questions?
Not at this time.
All right, we'll keep moving on. Now I want to go back to the project dashboard. And I want to show you that our RFIs that we're tracking is, oh, it's not open. I closed it. So that's why we have 0. If it was still open, so let me just add another one. And I'm not going to worry about spelling. And it's not going to let me do that. So there we go. We are tracking this RFI. It is tracking this because it's open. You saw that the one that was closed didn't show up before. So this is one way that you can identify if you've got something that's pending for RFIs that you still need an answer on. It's not overdue yet, but it is due in the next 7 days. The next one we're going to look at is meetings. So opening meetings from the left, we're going to see this list of meeting different types that we can start with. And we're going to go to settings, and you can create a different meeting type if you'd like. We can also print the checked minutes, and then we can send the minutes of the meeting as well. If you want to add a meeting type, call this one box top and add it. And you're going to see it shows up over here. So let's add a meeting. It's going to select meeting type if you've got this in here, but you can choose other types if you'd like. The date, we're going to do this for today. Our start time is going to be 1 p.m. It's going to give me an automatic hour in there, but I can't extend it. And a location, job site. Yeah, captured this information, and immediately, if we want to add this for our next meeting, we can just put our date in here. So we'll do this on the following Friday. It's going to pull in the same times here. For our icon or for our settings, we can pull in any open discussions if we have any in our meetings. So if you have discussions from different meeting types, you can pull those in. We can print what we have so far. We can send this out. If you send it out, it's going to open this up to anyone you've got in the project. And then you can also send this out once it's completed. We've got this listed as agenda, so we're setting this up. When we are complete or during the meeting, we can turn this into minutes by clicking here. And then we can also do that from the main screen. So our discussion topics, we want to add some topics here. First one is going to be safety vests. And I cannot spell today. Give this an assignment. So who is this on the project? Again, we pulled information from people in the project. We start typing in a name. It'll list that. When is this due? I'm going to make this due yesterday, so I want it to show up in the project dashboard as overdue. I want to add another topic. Same assignment. And then we're going to make this one due today. Attendees, I can add attendees. And again, this is anyone in the project, subcontractors, owner, etc. I'm going to add myself, my architect, and one of our subcontractors. If I have any attachments, I can add those attachments. For example, if I've got a schedule that I wanted to attach, I can download a Gantt chart and upload it here. I can also pull reports from the system. So if I click on the 3 dots here, select reports, it's going to pull up everything that you see normally in your reports box. You can just check on any of these items and they'll be included in the meeting. Click done when you check those. You'll see them listed here. This is an auto save as you go along. So all you have to do is move out of this. You can click on this tab or any other tab. And now we've got our meeting listed. So this is still an agenda. The meeting has not been completed yet. We're not going to turn this into minutes. For our 3 dots over here, we can go back in and edit it. We can print this and you'll see what it looks like. And it does list our reports. Add to calendar, send to attendees. That's going to be an email. Post finished minutes. We haven't turned this into minutes yet, so we're not going to post these, and then we can reuse for the next meeting. I'll show you that, and that's going to carry over some of our discussions. Add to calendar is going to download an ICS file for you. You can pull that into like your Google Teams. I can't zoom it in over here in the corner, but on the bottom corner, it's just going to have a download for you. So you can upload that ICS file into your calendar, and it's going to upload the information for this date. To send meeting minutes, it's going to send to all the attendees. So everyone you selected is going to be listed in the two area. So these people are supposed to be at the meeting, so they're already in here. Again, we can drop attachments, make any changes to the text that we need to. I'm gonna go back out.
Got
to
another
the
question before
Yes.
we go too far. Are we able to list headings on the agenda by discussion topic rather than the assignee? Some items don't need to be assigned. Are there general progress updates? You do not need to assign a person. There is a George, if you'll go back to meetings real quick. Yep, edit that meeting. And when you add a topic for me, click add topic. Click on assignment. There is an unassigned or a general note. So that's a option there. But list headings, as you can see, it does default by person and puts the topic underneath of there. If you want to put an unassigned topic in there for me, George. And then click, give it a due date and click add. You'll see that it goes by unassigned. So it goes by the person. Thank you.
So was that the question? Instead of the topic, it's listed by who it's assigned to?
Yes, they wanted to know if we can list it by topic, but it is listed by who it's assigned to.
Gotcha. All right. Back out to the dashboard. Oh, did I change something in the meeting? I didn't convert it to minutes yet. All right, so we did have one meeting listed, and this is the meeting for today. So we want to open this back up, and we're going to turn this into minutes. So again, I'm going to click up here, turn this into minutes, and I can go through and adjust these topics. So issue hard hats, I want to go in, reassign view details. And I'm going to close this one. I'm going to leave the safety vest open, and then our unassigned topic, I'm going to close this. Again, if you want to make notes, because this will be captured, for example, in your log, if this was an item that was closed out, it's probably a good idea to put the reason it was closed and save that. And we'll close this. During the meeting, this person was present, absent, and then conference. Those are our options. So now we know who was there, who was not there. Again, this is auto save. So we've turned this into minutes. When we go back out, our status is minutes. So now if we want to post this, if we wanted to send it out to attendees, this is going to send the posted or the minutes, not the agenda. We can set this as an agenda from here, and then we can reuse this next meeting. So let's do that. We've got our next meeting date on the 24th. This is an agenda. We've got one item. So that one item that we left open carried over. Let's look at that. So this is our one item carried over from the meeting. It's the past due. It's still open. We can go in here and see any notes. So if I had made some notes from our last meeting about why it wasn't issued, I can view that now. And again, that's something that will be captured in your meeting. So again, this is set up for minutes. I can go in and set up the next meeting time again here. And it'll save this. So I'll just go back out. We got our 2 meetings. This one is already closed. So let's go back to the project dashboard. 2 meetings. If I click on the red button or red number, it's going to tell me safety vest because it was meeting number 1 and meeting number 2. So until I close this out, it's going to keep showing up for the meetings. So again, this is another notification. I can send reminders to selected. So it's going to send an email out to whoever it was assigned to, in this case, me. And then the 2 meetings, this is just going to take me back to my meeting screen. No questions about meetings, so we're going to go into our next one, submittals. This is a little bit longer. So with our submittals, we're going to, when you first start on here, it's going to be a blank page unless you have some defaults, which we'll talk about in a minute. We've got submittals, transmittals up here. Our packages we'll see in a minute. Let's go into settings. So our settings is going to be your lead time, file notification, reminder, and builder. Let's go into lead time, and this is a default setting. And once we create a package, you're going to see this in the information for the submittal. If you want to change this, it's always going to be a number of days. We're going to change this to 7. So this is the order lead time. From the time you place the order, how much lead time do you need until the order is shipped out or received? GC review time. Once I get the information, how long do I need to take to review it? And then the same thing for the others. How long are they going to be? How much time do we give them to review this before we require it to be due? We're going to save those. Notification method. So you're going to see this automatically. I'm going to leave it as automatically. Every time that you save the submittal and you submit the submittal, it's going to pull up the email package for you automatically. So it's going to have who the next person is on the list and the information in the submittal, and it'll send it to them immediately. If you choose to do this manually, then you'll need to go to actions and you'll request a submittal and request approval at each step. We're going to save this as manual. Reminder notification. So we can turn this on or off. If we turn it on, we're going to have to set it to a number of hours. So if we wanted it 2 hours, 2 days, 3 days, 1 day prior, 12 hours prior, we can set that. I'm going to turn this off. And the last one, and we'll look at this after we built the submittal, is going to be our report builder. It will generate an Excel file for you and export that, and it'll list all of the submittals you have. Let's get a package going. Click packages in the top, and you can start pulling over items. If you want to create a custom, you can create a package number. You can add the custom down here. And when you're satisfied, click done. We've got our list of items. I'm going to click on this and correct my spelling errors. And I can click the down arrow if there are any items under here. So again, under actions, we've got request submittal, request approval. Those are the manual methods. So if we had this set to manually, I would go through the submittal and then come back out and click this. And then we can check these and send them to transmittals, and we can delete certain items. To create your first submittal, we'll go to masonry, and we're going to open this up. You're going to see an asterisk next to the title and the type. Those are required. The other are optional. So this is going to be if you had a specification, again, from the plan room, which I did, we can include the product manual, and it'll use that to refer to the item. Type, so you've got different options here, drawing, specs. We're going to say product info. Description. This can be as detailed as you want it to be. I've seen like urgent used in this description. So spell out whatever it is in your submittal that you need to know. If you've got a cost code you want to associate with this, you can do that. And if anything in the drawings, again, the plans that you have listed, if you want to refer to a specific sheet in the drawings, you can select that. Now by default, because this is a masonry cost code, our subcontractor that we've already got a contract with is going to be pulled in as the submitter. The GC is the reviewer, and then we've got our architect as the approver. You can change this so the owner can be the approver. If you go to add new assignee, and you can delete assignees as well by clicking this box. This has just got a little bit of information, so we need to go down to scheduling and create the rest of the information. When is this due on site? So you're going to see our order lead and our days to review, and those times were in our default settings that we looked at the beginning. So we're going to go to due on site, and this is going to be the 24th of March. It's going to automatically calculate everything, the order, the days of review. It'll put that information in here, and now it's got it set up so that we can do reminders. If this date is within our reminder period, it'll send it out for the submittal and then send us a notification that we need to review this, and then also send a notification to the approval. If we want to use anyone else, so the 3 people that we have listed are going to be in any communications we have. If there's anybody else in the project that we want to involve, again, this is architect, owner, subcontractors, we can add them to our list. Down here on the bottom, these 2 are important. Let me see if I can zoom in. Nope, can't zoom in on this screen. So we've got this checkbox. There we go. Save this item as a default. So if it's something you use a lot under masonry and you want this specific item to be saved so that on your next project, when you open it up, this default is, or this item is already listed in your submittals package, you're going to check this box. The box below this is once you save this or save and submit it, if you're going to continue working on submittals, it's going to open up another item in this package. So if you've got something else that goes under masonry and you want to work on that next, you can click this box, and when you save it, it's going to open up another masonry option. We are not going to do that. So we've got all the people in here. We've got our dates correct. We are going to save this. We're going to save and submit this so that we can send this information out to our subcontractor and start the process.
Before we get too far, we got a question.
Yes.
In submittals, are we able to add multiple reviewers, or is this just in the roadmap? Same reviewers in the same court. You can add, change that next one to GC reviewer. So you can add more of the same. So yes, you can. And you can move that architect down if you need to, if you need multiple reviewers.
Any other questions?
Nope.
It's from Lucas. All right. Yeah, you can change this from the owner, architect, whoever you want to be the final approval. We've got everyone selected. We're going to save and submit. So again, this is the automatic notification that we chose. It's pulled up this email for us. It's already got our subcontractor listed here. And then we can add any text. We can add any attachments. And if we need to upload a file, we can do that here. We're going to send this out. And now we've got some more information here under masonry. We've got a little icon here and my big arrow. You can't see it, but this is pending. It tells us who we're waiting on and when it's due. So we're going to go back in and we're going to edit this. Your subcontractors have their own site that they can log into. And when they get this email, it's going to let them know to log in and send their answer back. But if they just send you a file and you have to upload it yourself because they're not working in the system, that's what we're going to demonstrate now. So when we submitted this, it went out and we put today's date in there on receive because we sent an email out. They're going to send us a file back. And again, if they add this attachment in their individual site, it'll be available for you. All right, now we've got our attachment. We're still going to keep this in pending, and if you hover over these items, it'll give you some information. This one is the submittal is always going to be in pending status until it's approved. So this status is not going to change. We've got our file. We're ready to send this on from the submitter to the reviewer. So we are going to save and submit. It's not going to ask us if we want to email ourselves. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next step. And we're going to edit this. So now I've got a file here that was submitted, and you can see it when you click on this as well. If we want to delete this, we can. If we want to view it, we'll go down and click here. I'll close that. Let's open this file. It's going to show me the file, and this is just the viewing section. So I can look at this file, and when I'm ready, or if I need to, I can make markups. So I can click stamp markup, and it's going to open up all my drawing tools. So from here, I can highlight different parts of the text on the page. I can I can erase items that I draw. I can draw lines, text box, all this information, and let me show you the stamp. So we do have a stamp on here that you can put for your final approval on it. It's going to ask you your status. So we can put reviewed, reviewed as noted, approved. I'm going to say reviewed as noted. If you have anything to add in here, or if you want to change this disclaimer, you can certainly do that. Add your text. You can change the colors. We'll go with green. This is a clear background, and this is a white background. So let's preview. This is what our stamp's going to look like. And now we'll apply this. So with this item, you can resize it. You can move it around wherever you want it to be. And again, if you wanted to draw or highlight, you can do that. So you can choose which one you're specifically talking about. Once you're satisfied, you'll click done. So now it's changed my status to whatever I selected in my stamp. It said that this has been submitted and received, and I'm ready to go to the next in the line. So I'm going to save and submit. Again, this is going to send it out to my architect. I can change this text. I can attach files, and I'm going to send this. Your architect also has an individual site that they can log into, just like your owner and your subcontractors. So they can do this information from there. I'm going to show you again the manual method. So we're going to go in and we can edit. One thing I want to show you as well is you can view attachments without opening it. So if I wanted to view the attachment, I'm going to go in here. It's going to show me the valve spec. So this is without the stamp. This is going to be the one that's reviewed. So it's got the stamp. And then when the architect puts their file in, that'll be here as well. Oh, the one option I forgot to show you on that, on your attachments, if you do need to download these, is you do have a selection. So if I check this box, or if I check all, I can download these selected files. Again, we're waiting on our architect. They've got until the 17th to answer, and our status is pending. So in this example, we're going to show you what it looks like if it's been rejected or if they request a revision. So your architect can go in. If they've got their own stamp, they can attach a file here as well. Not the date. And they can change their status. If they submit their file, it's not going to do like this one did when it took our status from the stamp. So we're going to go to revise and submit. And so we're going to submit that and save it. Here's our note. Submittal has been marked as rejected and may not be edited. So that means we've got one down here that's just stored for historical reference. If we look at this, we see the one with the yellow icon, and we see this down arrow or this caret next to masonry specs. If we click here, it's going to show us the one that we created originally, and it's got this revise and submit X on it. So we're not going to be able to make any changes to that, but it's already created a new one for us to resend, and that's the status. And right now we're waiting on the GC reviewer to take some action on this. And I'm going to go in and show you this. This was a problem for one client. So if I go into edit, you're going to notice this file has a red area right here. So if I was to save and submit this and attach a new file, I'm going to run into problems. Let me save and submit. It's going to send this to my sub. So I've got my subcontractor, I'm pending status, waiting on them. If my subcontractor goes in and they try to attach a file, or if they've already got this file, it's going to create a problem. So we're going to add an attachment. Where's my attachment? File uploaded, we're done. Got the submitted status. Going to save and submit this. So this is the part where it's you've got at least one for markup. So we've got to go in and remove this item. And this, again, this is a problem that another client had. The reason for this is this is going to be the last file that was submitted. Normally it would be your architect would stamp and they would say the reasons for the revise and resubmit. So there would be information in that file. So this file is going to be carried over to the new submittal for resend. And instead of attaching a file up here, I'm going to delete this one. You'll go down to this file and click. It's going to ask you to reset, or it's going to ask you to replace a file. Click the three dots. We'll replace this. It's going to ask you to pull the file up. I still don't know where it went. This one. Now it's going to replace that file. So this time I can move forward, but that's something that stops the submittal process because you need to replace that file with a new file and not just add an attachment to it. You need to actually go in and replace that over here so that you can continue with your revision. I'm going to save and submit this, and we're not going to get that same warning that we got before. So remember, if you have an option to where you have to resend, you are going to get that file that was left over from the first submittal. You can review that, but it needs to be replaced. You want to go up to my actions. So I could request approval at this time. I could request submittal, and we can delete any items that we want to. We're not going to delete those. And you do not need to delete this item that's red. Again, this is left here for documentation. So don't try to delete that one. I want to go back to my project dashboard. And again, show you on submittals, we're tracking on 7 days because we did not close that one out yet. So if we clicked here, it's going to take me into my submittals page. This is, again, notification and reminder, just a quick look at any items you've got out there. Now, as I mentioned with the settings, we've got the submittal builder. Maybe. What was it you said yesterday, Heather? Just not clicking?
Just wasn't clicking. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got our submittal builder. Just like our site, everything on the right, this is what's going into our submittal, and this is everything that's available. So if you want to add something, pull it over. If you want to get rid of it, you can click on the X. And you can do a preview. When you do a preview, it's going to download like it's done here. It's just going to send you a download of the file. I've already downloaded this for us so we can open it up. And this is what it's going to look like. And again, as you continue on, it's going to create more. This was from something I was doing earlier, so it's concrete and not masonry, but it's going to give you this information. And again, it'll build as you have more submittals, and you'll be able to change the information that you want to see in here. And now you've got this in an Excel file if you need to use this for any other reason. The expand all is a good option too, because when you start getting into this and you don't know exactly when to drop down, if you just expand them all, it'll show you all the open ones. I want to show you what this looks like on a print. So very similar to the RFI, we've got the submittal, reviewer, approver. We've got our dates here and what we set it as. So this is the time that we had available. If we had anyone else in our distribution list. And this is our second one. And again, this was the revise and resubmit. Some more options for print is we've got the submittal log report, overdue, detailed submittal, submittal status, and then a custom report. So I've got this checked. If we had anything overdue, that would show up in the print. Detailed submittal log is going to be another Excel file, and that's going to give you the same information about the project, and it's going to pull up as an Excel file. We've already covered the actions, and that's it for submittals. Any questions on submittals? All right. Again, just want to reference the project dashboard. So we've got RFIs going on, submittals beyond 7 days. Got 2 meetings, and we do have overdue meeting items. The next thing we're going to look at is in our closeout. So if we open closeout, we've got our punch list and our warranty letters. And again, warranty letters and punch list items are going to show up here. Let's start with punch list. Punch list is a very simplistic screen. So you're going to see the due date. We're going to move this one out. We're going to make one that is overdue automatically. Our location. So it's going to start capturing locations. So if you use the same area or designate the same location, you'll be able to use it twice. It'll show up in the drop down. If you're creating a new location, you'll just type it in and it'll save that as an option for later. So we'll call this room 102. Description. And then our subcontractor. Got all our information here, and we are going to save this. Once you save it, it's going to move down here, and we can do some more with this. We can add photos. We can make any notes. We can change the due date. If we go to our 3 dots, we can close this, close it with the photo, delete, or send an email. If you want to upload a photo, just click here. For the setting, it's just going to ask you view album, or we can choose a file. So if you had a photo, actually I do have a photo. If I want to view the album, I can do that. And I'm going to upload a photo. So I didn't have it in an album. I did pull this from my file manager. So we've got a photo that's uploaded. If I wanted to change the name, I can do that here. I'm just going to save it by closing it. You're going to see a black box around this photo. So now this tells me I've got something in here. If I click on it now, it's going to let me view that. That's an interesting one. All right, any notes that we want to add? You open this up, it's just going to give you a text box. You can save that as well. And we're going to add another item. So on this one, we're going to make the due date on Monday. We're going to change the rooms. So again, I've already added room 102, so it's giving me an option for that in my drop down. I'm going to do room 104. a description, add my contractor, and save this. Again, I could go through and add anything that I need to. And I'm going to go to settings now. So I can send these items out. I can send this punch list by subcontractor, by location, by item number. I can do a report of the punch list, which ones are open, do it by location, and open items by location. So we'll just show you this. Room 102, room 104. Again, back to my project dashboard. And I'm going to see punch list items. So I've got one coming up in the next 7 days. I've got 2 total. If I click on the one in red, it's going to tell me what's not done. So it was required yesterday. And I can check this and complete it now, or I can send a reminder. And I can go to punch list from here. If I click this and send a reminder, it's just going to send this out. It's not going to open up an email like it normally does with a text. It's just going to send the email with that punch list items. For punch list items, had a client ask about this. Subcontractors, when they log in, are going to be able to see everything on the punch list. So it's not just limited to what's assigned to them. They'll be able to see everything in their own site that is due. So just answer that question. We've got our filters over here. Both of these are open. We can filter it by due date. This is overdue. Anything that's unassigned. So if I just had an item in here, but I didn't have a subcontractor, that's where this would show up. And as they close out, they'll be in the last filter. Any questions about punch list? We're going to move on to warranty letters.
No questions.
Thank you. So our warranty letters are for our subcontractors. We're going to send owner A letters. We're going to check these. Anything that's come in, we can view them. Again, the owner A and the owner B is if you have 2 owners, tenant build out is an example where the building owner and the project owner. In this case, we've only got 1 owner. We're going to start up with our start date. Escape that. So when does the warranty start? We're going to say a week from today, everything's going to be finished. And you can do it in terms of years. You can use a decimal point in here. So we're going to go 1.5 years. And we can change this text to anything that we need to. We have the option up here to check all, or we can just check them individually. And we can send these out. And it's going to take a minute. We got a green bar up here telling me that they were sent. So you'll notice down here, view signs. So this is a warranty on the work that we did. So we've got a different option. We can view or sign this. This is just going to let me view. And then it's a separate box, so I can click on sign. We can't zoom into that, but it's giving me the box in the corner, asking me if I want to digitally sign this. I'm going to agree. And close this window. So now I've got a date in here. We've sent these warranty letters out and they're going to go out to the subcontractor sites. So they will be able to log in and digitally sign it just like we did. As soon as they do, it's going to come back with the date here. If we need to edit the date, we can do that as well. If we need to send these out again, we can check this and send that information again. Any questions on warranty letters?
No questions.
Let me go into project documents. Warranty letters. So just like we have with our contracts, change orders, items like that, if you don't get it through an email, or if you don't get it through their site, if you don't get it through their site and they send it through an email, we can import that information here. So we've got Allen Finishes. If we want to import their warranty letter, we can open the file and we can add that. So that's Allen Finishes. When I go back to warranty letters, we're going to see that Allen Finishes has their date here. So that's how you would import a file if they just send it to you, where they copied it, scanned it, and sent it to you. All right. The last thing we're going to look at is our job closeout. Our job closeout is in the administration. I'm sorry, job backup. Job backup, we're going to select our status. This one was in progress. So it's going to show me everything that was in progress, and way down in the W's is our project. So I'm going to, if I click this, it's going to start my backup. And you can see here, it does take time to process, so it's not going to download immediately. You will be sent this information, and you've got 10 days to download it from the system before it is deleted. And of course, you can go back in if that 10 days passes, and you can do this again, but make sure that you do get that system, or get that backed up from your system. I got an example. So in my file manager, it's going to show up as a zipped. Heather, is this showing up at is my RTG's file showing up?
It is, and it is zipped, just like you said.
Okay, so this is going to show up as a zip drive. I can open this, and let me go to full screen. It's going to have all these items, and you're going to see this looks just like what we have in our project documents. So we've got our folders here. Got some more information down here. This confused me a couple times. These are not daily logs. These are just messages about daily logs. Same thing with photos, permits. But if you go up to this box, for example, contracts. When I open contracts, this is going to show me the owners and the subcontracts. And I do have a PDF copy here. So when you download the job backup, it's going to have all that information for you. And again, it's sorted out so that you can go into drawings, daily logs, lien releases, these items, open this folder, and it's going to have the actual item. And again, I opened up contracts up here, but if you click on this, this is just going to be different. This is just some information about the contracts. It's not the contracts themselves. All right, so we have covered RFIs, submittals, meetings. We talked about the punch list and warranty letters, and we discussed the job closeout, job backup. Any questions before we leave?
No questions.
All right, last couple of things. Again, you can go here and you can see these items populate as you make meetings, as you have RFIs. This is where you're going to be notified about anything overdue. We also have notifications within the systems that we looked at. So if you are overdue a submittal, it's going to send you an email as well. So we do try to make an attempt to keep you informed about what's going on in your project. The last thing is, as always, we've got the Learning Center available at any time. You can go into the Learning Center from your profile tab. We've got our webinar recordings and our upcoming sessions. This is our final session for RFIs. The next book or the next meeting is going to be about online desktop QuickBooks. And we also have, let me go back, our implementation courses. These are all the videos. And then we have articles down here that you can review as well. Implementation courses, for example, we just finished course 8. So all these items, we have some videos that we've made here. That's all we've got for today. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a great day.